So I'm going to put my phone on silent.
Yes, 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 yes. That's
Yeah,
what I
I
am doing.
know. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready on my side.
Yeah. Okay then.
Ready?
Yeah. Please start.
The elephant in every room is the economic impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Beyond the tragic toll on lives, the pandemic is having a dramatic impact on livelihoods. In many countries, GDP is predicted to fall by over 50%. Organizations in every country are faced with the difficult decision of immediately downsizing through staff layoffs, with over 60% already considering this as an option, while others, majority, are also frozen new hires. The economic fallout could cost millions of jobs, sending unemployment rocketing beyond rates ever seen before. Today, we want to discuss remote working from home, lessons learned, and way forward. The world has undergone unprecedented change, with borders closing, entire countries in mandated lockdowns due to the prevailing pandemic. A sharp decrease in demand in many industries has shifted market power to customers, further intensifying market competition. This, combined with disruption in supply chains, has created a margin squeeze for many industries, for example, airlines, hospitality, energy, and materials businesses. Many companies are not only seeking solutions to improve their performance in the short term and increase their competitive edge in shrinking markets, but also to ensure long-term sustainability in coming times through significant transformation. Employees are advised to self-isolate at home and avoid unnecessary outings. These measures have meant many companies are requesting their employees work from home, something they may not have previously developed a policy around or even allowed. So, if amidst the chaos that is the worldwide pandemic, employees find themselves working from home for the first time, in this podcast, we review the challenges faced by working remotely and suggest best practices to strengthen the remote ways of working and discuss way of a long-term transformation. My name is Bernard Odote. I'm an advisory board member of the Birmingham City University and the Center for Citizenship, Enterprise and Governance, Fourth Industrial Revolution Research Center. I'm also the founder of House of Procurement Africa and Fursa Africa and the African Buying House. Today with me to discuss for us this essential and critical topic is Mr. Lalit Damija. Mr. Lalit Damija is a global supply chain faculty member. He is also with a wealth of experience for working over 40 years in the supply chain industry. He is the executive chairman of the Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply, CIPS UAE branch committees. He has worked in ADNOC Group for over 30 years in procurement and supply. He was a key member of the ADNOC Group Procurement Initiative for Procurement Transformation and was also procurement excellence leader in ADNOC Onshore. He's industry academic member of Procurement and Supply for Higher College of Technologies in UAE, a qualified graduate mechanical engineer with an MBA and project management, and also holds procurement and supply chain qualifications from USA, UK, and Canada. Welcome, Mr. Lalit Damija.
Thank you very much for hosting me, Mr. Binat.
You are welcome, Mr. Lalit. So, Mr. Lalit, let's just dive into it and hear some of your thoughts on this topic. So, Mr. Lalit, what are the challenges faced when working from home, specifically for you and some of your colleagues and people in your network?
Yes, we all are experiencing this from last 10 weeks. Most of us around the globe are in a situation. We are working from home remotely, and there's a difference between working virtually and in office working that we have seen. Now, the first thing which comes to my mind is communication, and which we have experienced. Many employees may feel they are less connected, they are less informed, and Now the managers' difficulties or the challenges, how to engage them with other employees and the stakeholders. It all depends on the nature of the employees, how actively they were communicating before, and how the situation has prompted them to communicate now. So it is onus is on the managers to communicate well with them. They have to offer meaningful solutions, connect efficiently and effectively, inform them on the way forward. This is important because we don't want lengthy, uh, unending video conferences where people may or may not be required, and normally people will not have time to do the actual work. There is meeting after meeting, so those type of restrictions have to be there. And as I want to re-emphasize, we have to connect efficiently and effectively. And the second thing which comes to my mind is the processes. We were just sent into the working from home environment. There was no planning, it was all of a sudden. And companies did not have any protocols, they did not have any procedures or processes by which they could debrief or brief the employees how to work. So the situation is such that managers will have to establish expectations from the workers who are working remotely. They need to have performance management issues clearly specified and defined, and we should know what are the deliverables, what are the KPIs which are like monitored periodically. See, these are the things which are required by the enterprise, by the organization for the success of the organization. And of course, there are emotional angles to this. People are not that much geared up as they were geared up when they were coming to regular office. Here, in addition to the office work, they have got their children, babies whom they have to take care of. There is a work environment they are trying to create at home where there are other challenges at home, maybe parents or spouses or children, their issues which have to be taken care of. So, but manager has to be uh, dedicated. They have to make sure that they discuss the project status with them. All right. So this is what is important, to have a balancing act between the two. And further, now we did not have culture for virtual working before. Some people were working, they were even going to coffee shops, were working from there, who were allowed. But now the situation is quite different. We are working from home and we should all feel connected. So it is good to have meetings, and basically, I will suggest video meetings are better than audio meetings. At least people see each other face to face. And managers, of course, should ask the employees how are they dealing with the issues, how are they feeling, and we should employee should know, a manager should know each and every employee. What are the difficulties the employee is going through, and have some sympathy and have some solutions if they got any for them. Employees should feel valued. If they are feeling valued and appreciated, they will feel good and they will work more. And this is the whole new of way doing the business nowadays. Other issues which I heard in my network and which I experienced was equipment availability. People need laptops, they need computers. So they had most of us have computers and laptops, but they did not have 4 to 5 to 6 laptops because each member in the house needs a laptop or a desktop or availability of these computers, because even children are working from home. They are doing home schooling or remote schooling is going on, remote learning is going on, and internet issues could be there. Every part of the world there could be different type of challenges from where people are working. uh, every country has different type of issues, the speed of internet, the bandwidth, all these issues have to be taken care. In the house, does everybody have furniture or workstation, or how can they improvise? These type of challenges are going on. These are the challenges which I'm discussing. And then time wise, how can we set up our time? Do we have unlimited time? Do we work 8 to 5, or do we work unlimited till the time work is finished, or we work off and on? So we need to set up new agreements for this time. And we want to check in the work as per a disciplined way of working, or have a fixed routine in which we can work. Now, companies transitioning to remote ways of working, they are facing, like what I discussed before, immediate communication challenges, which are again, as I emphasized, was compounded by inadequate technology and infrastructure. And of course, as reduced organizational efficiency, since we did not have laid down policies and procedures for this type of working. And uh, these are my thoughts about the challenges for the remote working, which my network colleagues and myself we have gone through. Yes, Vinod.
Thank you very much, Lalit, for that comprehensive response. So, Lalit, what would you advise the people working from home from across the various continents? What would you advise are some of the best practices to utilize while working from home?
See, Bernard, working remotely has been challenging both for clients and for our teams, whether it is engaging on a video screen for a long period of time, or trying to compartmentalize our personal work and work lives while in the same physical space. So, every one of us has learned, and we have tips to share. So, what I feel is we need to give ourselves some breaks when we are working. Every hour, say every hour, 2 hours, have a 5 minutes break. Come, like relax and come back refreshed. So that is going to help. And other is follow morning routine. By my experience, I have learned now. Uh, it has to be everything. I'm ready full, like I'm going to office at 8 o'clock. I'm in front of the desktop, and 8 to 4 I have to work in this desktop. Of course, there are breaks in between, and we have to be more effective and efficient. So I follow the fixed morning routine and project discipline from 8 to 4. And of course, sometimes you are engaged in certain type of work which may not be like productive, or which may not be important. So it will be advisable to prioritize the day in two or three top priorities which have to be done. So sometimes it could be task of the day if it is a big work. And again, uh, we have to check out from work and have some family time also. Then only you can be effective. If you take care of your family, you take care of kids and allocate time to them, then they will not disturb you during your 8 to 4 routine. All right. And there should be a scheduled time for the family, and also have times when you can exercise, and when you can walk. Those things are important. In addition, communication is important with your support group. Support group could be from the business, could be outside the business, and you can have some social groups. You have to connect with them. So you have to manage the things in this manner. These things work for me. So these are my thoughts about what are the good practices which work for me.
Thank you very much, Lalit. Now, it's clear that the world has changed, and it's clear that we have to do new things and adapt for the future. What are some of the ideas that you think we will need, and some of the innovations or investment we will need to manage work and new ways of working in the future?
Okay. Uh, Differences between the companies. There is no one size which will fit all the solutions. So the executives or managers have to reimagine their companies, priorities, and how to work strategies across various dimensions. As we all have been working on, and there have been emphasis always on people, processes, technology. But now I believe there's another dimension to it, which is structure. How do you structure your models, right? So the structure could be, now we are used to hybrid way of working, remotely as well as from the office. So this will be the hybrid way of working. Some people who are in operations, they have to go, they have to work. Others can work from home. And like we are hearing now, Twitter or Facebook, they have said like some of their staff for their life they can work from home. So this type of different thinking is coming up. Other people have experienced, they say, wow, we can really work from home, many disciplines can work from home. So when we go back after this pandemic, many models would have changed, structures would have changed. So we have to work on these one. These are the way forward. Before moving back to on-site models, the clear business case should be presented that includes every process and service transition to remote or temporarily discontinued due to COVID-19, and see whether we can uh, fine tune that, whether we can retain that. So these type of structural changes companies will have to see. And other things would be other important concepts, other dimension is the people dimension. So uh, many times smaller groups were assigned for certain project, and whether when the things are returning to normal, do we need a bigger team, or we can still work with these nimble or like small teams, smaller groups which we had created. So this will be a valuable opportunity to restructure our organization layers or roles and see which roles are redundant and which new roles are required. So this is the future of work, which will also include automation and technology. So this was already in the mind of organizations, but this pandemic or COVID-19 has hastened its pace. And companies had already invested in technology. Those who have not invested and those who suffered because there were gaps, so they will have to, of course, take this opportunity and make those particular investments in this market where there is a financial squeeze. So the priorities will have to be given accordingly. And as far as the processes are concerned, we know many companies are fine tuning their processes. Um, I heard McDonald has changed their processes quite a lot. Companies should question which established processes have reduced the risk of misalignments, increased operational transparency, and improved productivity. So we should think on how to best integrate these solutions into companies' procedures and processes. For example, by including them in training and onboarding materials, maybe like what we are talking about, remote working. And technology is extremely important. We were digitized, that's why many companies could successfully carry out their operations. So we have to see how to improve access to technology and minimize any risk involved the next time people need to stay away from their operational sites. So leaders should accelerate the technology and take it to, and